Hello everybody, welcome to Raven Radio. I'm your host, Kat. Today we have 3 updates coming in, 2 from VR Chat, 1 from Alpha Blend Interactive. Yes, they are back in the loop again as well. Our updates include developer updates from August 4th and August 5th of 2022 from VR Chat, and just some updates on bug fixes from Alpha Blend Interactive. So here's hoping that we hear more good news. I have not seen them yet, so we shall see. Coming to you from Alpha Blend Interactive. Hello there. We are making good progress towards the game update and need to announce a downtime of 30 minutes in around 1 hour. During this downtime, no new users can log in and you will not be able to switch avatars. However, lobbies that are already created should be able to remain online. We will use this downtime to get the new database infrastructure online and migrate the data into its new home. Once the migration is over, you will be able to join the game again. Sometime after that, we will deploy the API and game update. We urge you to download this update as soon as it is online, since it will disable the old API 1 hour after release, and you would no longer be able to play with the old game version. And we are currently working on fixing the remaining bugs we found while testing internally, and we assume the new API and game update will release in about 2 hours after that. Switching the game implementation of the API brought up some unexpected issues, and we want to release a working update. Thank you for that update, Alpha Blend Interactive. Good to know that you're still actively working on these. Coming to you live from developer updates from VR Chat from August 4th, 2022 to August 5th, 2022. Here we have the latest updates on both development and bug fixes. Yesterday, we allowed comments on a development update for the first time. It went okay. We'll keep them on for now, although that might change in the future. The features described below may not be released yet, unless otherwise noted, and may change before they become available to users. August 4th, 2022, server downtime. We had some pretty serious downtime today between 4 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. Keep in mind, this is both Pacific Standard Time for the placement of their corporation. During that time, VR Chat wasn't accessible for most people. The issue was internal, and it was not, and I repeat, it was not an attack. An internal failure caused other systems to fail, and the original bug was fixed. And the subsequent issues it caused are being addressed so other failures won't cause this problem again. Microphone noises, gate, and noise suppression. You can now adjust the point at which your microphone goes quote-unquote hot via a simple slider in the quick menu audio tab. This helps prevent things like heavy breathing, sniffling, or other background noises from being broadcasted to all your friends. The default value, 5%, should be good enough for most users, but if you play VR Chat in a noisy environment, it might be worth cranking it up a bit. If your friends start to say you're cutting in and out while talking, that's a pretty good sign you need to bring the slider back closer to default. Try playing around with it. In addition to that, we've also added a simple button that toggles noise suppression and noise cancellation. This will help remove background noises from your microphone input, like the sound of a computer fan or air conditioners. Guess what? We got more updates about personal mirrors. We changed the way you place and move the mirrors around the world. Again, we received a lot of feedback that folks preferred being able to grab the mirror, so we've gone back to that. Except this time, we left the ability to manipulate and move around the mirror after you've grabbed it with your joystick. When you push your right joystick forward, it will push the mirror away from you. Pushing the joystick back will bring the mirror closer. The behavior here should feel similar to users of XS Overlay. On top of that, we implemented radial controls, like avatars use, where it makes sense. Additionally, we've got some other feedback stating that the calibration mirror shouldn't rotate with your head. Good call. It doesn't do that anymore. Earmuffs, the feature formerly known as the Conversation Dome. We thought the Conversation Dome name was kind of awkward, so now we're calling it earmuffs. Much easier. When your earmuffs are on, a circle appears around you, representing a sphere. That can be adjusted through the quick menu, and anyone outside that range will have their voice turned down almost completely, allowing you to focus in on the conversation near you. You can adjust that range as you see fit. A red bar will appear above your quick menu that lets you know it's activated. A red bar will appear above your quick menu that allows you to know it's activated and when its radius currently is. At any point, you can click that bar and immediately deactivate the zone. In addition to adjusting the range of the earmuffs, you can also adjust fall-off distance. So combined with the range determines the distance at which the player voice will be muted, and the fall-off determines where those voices start to fade out. If you set the fall-off distance to be equal to your radius, you won't hear any voices unless they are inside the range of the dome. On the other hand, if you increase the fall-off distance, then you still hear voices outside the dome. They'll just fade the further away they are from the edge of the dome. We've also added the third slider that allows you to customize how far down voices get turned when they're outside the quote-unquote muted radius, so you could have this at a very low or zero volume, or so the world doesn't feel empty, just a lot quieter. In addition to all the design work, we also got some icon art sorted out, which actually helped us choose the new name for it too. As a final note, hey, world authors, don't worry about your undone power voice volume changes. The volume adjustment made by the earmuffs feature applied to the final layer on top of Undang and world settings. So it shouldn't break things, but let us know if it does. This feature is still the iteration and polish stages, but we think it's getting pretty close to completion. Hide avatars by distance. Some concerns were brought up yesterday and feedback regarding animators being disabled and not running. We did some investigating, and as it turns out, the problem doesn't exist as long as you aren't using right defaults. If your avatar's animation uses right defaults, you can get into unexpected animator state. Despite both VRChat and Unity recommending against using it, many avatar creators still use right defaults, and many avatar prefabs distributed still have it on. So unfortunately, those avatars will not behave properly after being cold and uncold by the avatar's distance feature. One solution would be to leave the animations running, but that is potentially a large performance concern, especially considering that poorly made animations are one of the biggest sources of frame time loss for many avatars we've examined. Another solution might be to turn off mesh renders, but we'd have to check each frame that renders while they are off, as an animation might try to turn them back on. This also doesn't solve the animator performance issue and also runs into other issues with avatars that play sounds, have lights, etc., etc. We are investigating the issue, but may release it into beta as is depending on how many people complain about broken avatars because they're still using right defaults. We may have to return this one back to get some more work. Congratulations! Have you ever run into the problem where you go through all 100 slots because you can't make up your mind as to what avatars you like? Gosh, I know I have that issue. But this just in, more favorites, easy update, here it's in, which gives you a total of 300 new avatar groups and a total of 400 worlds you could be saved. So say like you go a couple months in between without your friends being online and you start queuing up a bunch of fun maps. Depending on how much of a world hopper you like to be, which there's no shame in that, you can save up to a total of 400 until your friends come back online and then binge all night on the game. But I just found that as a little bit of a very pleasant, especially for those that do pay for premium. Or well, the VRC Plus, I shouldn't say premium. But it is always nice to see that developers are listening to the community, which I know a lot of this has been coming up recently with a bunch of old mods that ended up coming through. A lot of people have been losing worlds and avatars because they surpassed the quote-unquote maximum that was originally supposed to be implemented. So seeing that they have drastically improved this by over 200% is very pleasant to see. For those of you who love taking pictures in VR chat, whether it be group photos, scenery photos, or if you're just a selfie person, this update consists of a camera resolution selector. And we added buttons in that let you select your camera's resolution. Two important notes here. Since the screenshot we renamed 2K to QHD for technical correctness. Second, Quest can't handle high resolutions. In fact, taking 8K pictures will crash you. We'll likely end up limiting the max resolution the Quest can take pictures at, but this task is an iteration after some QA feedback. So, you did hear that correct. Your pictures will have the ability to take in either 720, 1080, 2K, 4K, or 8K. Although, to be honest, I don't know yet as to what the maximum resolution is going to be for Quest. Being the fact that we know 8K apparently does crash the Quest, I can guarantee you that will not be there. Now, however, depending on the pixel ratio and the processing power of Quest, I could say probably that we are looking at maybe a max of 1080 to 2K. Because I don't think Quest, at least for me owning one, can handle 4K. Text chat box and chat bubble. Yes, we are back on this topic again. As was mentioned during the last update, or the last two, a basic prototype for the text-to-text chatter box has been completed. With the text chat box, you can type messages that will then appear in a chat bubble under your nameplate. The chat box will automatically resize itself to accommodate whatever text has been entered up to a certain character limit. And in the prototype, you access the chat box through the action menu under options. Within the chat box menu, you have a few options: keyboard, clear chat, visibility, display duration, and chat box size. Keyboard opens up and keyboard, surprise, that allows you to enter text into a chat box. Clear chat box will let you clear your messages. And this also happens if you send a blank message via the keyboard. Visibility allows you to change whose chat boxes you can see, everyone, friends, only your own, or by default you can see chat from your friends. And the display button, or the display duration I should say, sets how long other player chat boxes will appear for you locally. This is different from when user clears their chat box, but also clears it for everyone, no matter what their display duration is set to. And finally, chat box size lets you scale the size of the chat box locally. We've consulted with some creators of popular VR chat made OSC TTS systems because we are also interested in ensuring you can control your chat box text with OSC. We want to make sure those systems work flawlessly with our chat bubble system, and OSC may not be implemented in the first pass, depending on how development goes, but we will see. This feature still needs QA and has some further work to be done. For example, streamer mode will turn off chat boxes for everyone regardless of text chat box, might make it into beta release in a partially finished state to be announced. Bug fixes. As was the case yesterday, work continued on fixing some bugs involving the newly added features. There's a significant bug that's present in the live that we really want to get patched for the weekend because it causes issues when you try to join a full instance, but we're also trying our best to get a patch out for that tomorrow. As of most, the bounce off full instance occurrences happen during crowded weekend events. We're also testing a fix for a bug that sometimes prevents your homeworld from loading properly. That's all for today. We are planning on pushing a release tonight, but unfortunately the server had a bit of a hiccup. We'll have to see how things look tomorrow, but another live beta release is likely as the release of 2022 2P2. That's a lot of twos. See you tomorrow. And that does wrap up the update for August 4th, and we are going to go ahead and crash headlong into August 5th's update. 2022 2.2 2P2 release. It is so many twos. Why would you do this to your readers? And why would you do this to your broadcasters? Okay, I know I don't work for you yet. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway, we've made some fixes to the 2022 2.2P2 version of VRChat, and it released it. It is out now, and you can come check out the patch notes here. That means Horizon Adjust, Personal Mirror, Movable Main Menu, and more are all available in VRChat on all platforms right now. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did get to go ahead and tinker around with some of them the night before reading this. And I'm not going to lie, it is actually everything I missed that they took away originally. And I'm legitimately excited, except I'm still waiting for them to work on the alarm clock. Please, VRChat, give me my alarm clock! Let's go back and talk about what these features are. If you've been keeping up to these posts, they will look pretty familiar. And all features in this update are on Quest and PC, and all of the features in this update are free, and none of them require VRChat Plus. Movable Main Menu. This feature allows you to move around the main menu. After opening the main menu, hover around beneath the menu to find the handle and grab on with the grip button, and you can move it around. Also, you can find an operation in the quick menu to change where the main menu opens up, either directly in front of you or in the old orientation. Horizon Adjust. This feature lets you change your horizon such that you can use VRChat completely while in bed or laying down. It works in both standing, sitting, 3-point tracking modes, as well as with full body tracking. It is worth noting that behavior while calibrating in full body tracking can be a little strange, and it's possible that some setups might experience some strangeness. If you're having difficulty calibrating while your horizon is adjusted, try to make sure that you're lying down completely flat. As a warning, this mode can be disorienting, so please do use with care. Dedicated copy-paste buttons. This feature adds copy and paste buttons to the VRChat keyboard and makes the keyboard appear when you click inside a VRC input field. This makes it very easy to paste video URLs into the video player. Personal Mirror. This feature allows you to spawn a locally only mirror that you can grab, move around, resize, adjust transparency, and more. In the live beta, we're also putting out custom home instance types. Some users want to load into a different instance type other than invite. So now you can set up your home world to be any instance type. Invite plus, friends, Friend Plus, and even Public. You can adjust this in your quick menu, and additionally, we decided to add on an option when you click Go Home that allows you to return to the default VRChat home world. Likewise, if your home world fails to load, you'll also be sent to the default VRChat home world. Now, once again, like I said, if you wish to make your home a public world, like I said, just don't be afraid if someone's in there using your toilet, because like I said, I've been there, I've done that, it's terrifying. You just come in from working on your front yard and someone's in your bathroom. Portal prompt. With this option on, walking into a portal isn't enough to go through it. You have to confirm it with a trigger pull or a click. Camera lag fix. Pretty simple. We moved the camera saving off thread so it should hitch less when you take a screenshot. This is somewhat hardware and scenario dependent though. In very busy scenarios with high resolution set in, the config file res buttons coming soon, it may still hatch a bit, but far less than it used to. Disable cloning on instance change. Enabling this option will turn off cloning anytime you enter a new instance in case you forgot to turn it off in the previous instance. Particle limiter toggle. This feature simply allows you to turn off the particle limit system. Toggling this limiter will reload everyone's avatars to enforce the limits. Gesture indicators on HUD. This feature is where you can turn on a HUD, elements that show the current gesture in use on your controllers. You can turn it on in your quick menu, and this is currently only works in VR mode, but we'll add in a desktop functionality later. Improved movement while looking up. Previously, when you looked directly up, your locomotion movement with the joystick would get weird and hard to control. This happened a lot with people lying down. We made some changes in how we calculate your forward vector, so movement should feel a lot better in those situations. Bug fixes. We fixed a few bugs in the release, mainly one that affected people trying to join full instances. 2022.22p3 now in live beta. We've also got an update beta out that you can try out with a bunch of new features. This beta build contains everything from the last one, plus the features described below. VRChat 2022.2.2p3 is now in live beta and is built on top of 2022.2.2p2, and it has more features than are in development. They're trying to give me a stroke up in here. You can check out what's in it by going here, which I will have the link down in the description. Just like last time, join our Discord and check out the Open Beta Info and Open Beta Announcements channel to learn how to access the beta. This beta works with live, and you'll be able to hang out during the weekend with your friends and try out these new features. As was the case last Friday, we've prioritized speed over everything else. This means that some features may be in need of further polish or might be buggy. Make sure to provide feedback via our feedback forum. You can access the vast majority of the news features in the quick menu gear tab on the far right. Earmuffs. This feature lets you turn down other people around you based on distance from you. When your earmuffs are on, a circle appears around you, representing a sphere that can be adjusted through the quick menu. Anyone outside that range will have their voice turned down to reduce the volume level you define. Allow you to focus in on the conversation near to you, and you can adjust that range as you see fit. You can also adjust how quickly people's voices fall off. To reduce that volume level, you use the fall off slider. We tried this feature out in a few crowded instances since last night, and it was pretty amazing. Try turning the reduce volume down to 20 to 50% and adjust your range and fall off a bit. It helps a lot with party environments and where there's tons of voices going. When this is on, a big red bar appears on your quick menu so you don't forget about it. If you click the red bar, you'll be able to turn it off. Microphone noise gate plus noise suppression. This feature allows you to adjust the sensitivity of your microphone as well as enable background noise cancellation. Both features will help prevent things like heavy breathing, sniffling, or other background noises from being broadcasted to all your friends. Noise cancellation is especially useful for those with air conditioners or fans in the room. For the sensitivity selector, the default value is 5%. That should be good enough for most users. But if you play VR chat in a noisy environment, it might be worth cranking it up a bit. If your friends start saying you're cutting in and out while talking, that's a pretty good sign you need to bring the slider back close to default. Try playing around with it. And open up the audio tab in your quick menu and scroll down to your microphone. You can adjust your sensitivity with the sliders and turn on and off the noise cancellation with the waveform symbol. Camera near clip adjustment. This feature allows you to reduce the near clip plane of your view. If you don't know, a camera has many properties that define how its view looks. One of its properties is the near clip and far clip plane. To put it simply, these are distances at which things start rendering, near clip, and when they stop, far clip. You can only see the objects that are in between these two distances. When you want to look at something especially closely, or when you are especially small, having a small near clip can be advantageous as it lets you see things properly. However, dropping it too low will cause problems in the world where the far clip is set very far because you're reducing the precision of depth available to the camera. If this sounds complicated, here's a super short version. This feature allows really small avatars to see their own arms instead of looking like you stare at your waist. Check out the new options in the quick menu for near clip adjustment, and we're recommending using dynamic mode, which tries to pull in the near clip as close as possible without breaking too many things. There's also forced mode, which ignores the world completely. There's a warning when you enable forced mode because it will override the world no matter what. And the world might have a good reason to have its settings the way it is. Hide avatars by distance. This feature lets you turn off avatars that are X meters away from you, or only allow the X closest avatars to show. You can tell the system to let friends and shown avatars through anyway. We got a lot of feedback yesterday that people don't want to have to worry about right defaults and avatars breaking with the system. We're doing a lot of research to look into the impact and workarounds. The issue is that we don't want to sacrifice performance, which is primarily what this feature is for. As for some examples, fully unloading and reloading / reinitializing the avatar is really heavy. We can't do that. Stopping the animator isn't good either, as we could run into issues. Can't hide renderers easily, as we'd have to fight with animators for control, setting something every frame, which could be bad for performance. As you can see, this could get pretty in-depth quickly. We're looking into it. Regardless, we want you to test the feature out, and if you see some weird behavior with the avatar animations, let us know. Personal mirror updates. We've been playing around with a lot with different methods for moving the personal mirror around, and we've provided both movement models where grab mode is a bit like XS overlay, but there is no visual feedback yet through that, though that's missing. We're also coming up with new systems for scaling using puppet menus. Rather than radials, these work on desktop too. If you got one of those fancy mice with the scroll clutch, grab the mirror and spin your mouse wheel to send it into space. We're going to continue to polish this feature until we're happy with it. But the way it works in the beta is pretty good. Try it out. Copy and paste on keyboard. Easy copy button and paste button on the keyboard, and also when you click on the text fields in VR chat, you'll get a keyboard pop-up. other features we're working on. Of course, there's other stuff that hasn't made it into the beta yet. That's what we're moving on to next, or are in the process. Personal mirror updates. The face mirror has a few issues and needs a bit more polish, and it needs to get flipped around so it isn't inverted. Likewise, as we mentioned above, there are a few more tweaks that need to be done to give the mirror a bit more feedback when you interact with it. Text-to-text chat box. Unfortunately, due to a pretty significant bug we ran into with the feature, we weren't able to get into the new live beta. Development continues, but most of the time today was spent figuring out said bug. On-screen gesture indicators. It was noted to us that these aren't available on desktop. Whoops. If it's easy, we'll loop around and add them for the next time. But if we have to do some rewriting, this might have to wait. Earmuffs. Once we're seeing that might be an issue. Earmuffs. One thing we're seeing that might be an issue is that others don't know when you've got earmuffs on. We're considering adding an indicator of some kind so other people know your settings are different from the world's. Bugs. There's a bunch of known issues and bugs we're carrying from bugs. There's a bunch of known issues and bugs we're carrying forward with us. This is the cost of moving fast. We're keeping tracking the really bad ones and noting others for us to handle later. Wow. Okay. Yeah, no, that's all grammatical. Woo boy. Conclusion. As you can probably tell, today was busy. We pushed 2022.2.2 P2 live release and a new live beta and started work on a new round of features for next week. We'll hopefully be able to talk about some of these incoming features on Monday. Make sure you check out the live beta this weekend and don't forget to leave us feedback. Whew, that sure was a lot of reading. I don't know about you, but I could really go use a Kool-Aid right now. I love Kool-Aid. But anyway, thank you for joining for this section of VRC News, brought to you live from Raven Radio Studios. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your friends because, to be honest, I really love doing this. And a lot of people, like I said, just don't have time to read this stuff anymore. So if they want to listen to it while they're working on housework or driving on their way to work to see what's getting prepared for the weekend, please feel free to share. Love to hear your feedback in the comments. Any idea updates as to what you want to see, and especially with any more VRC channels. You just let me know. Y'all have a lovely day. Thank you for being beautiful, and thank you for listening. I'm not dead inside. Well, I mean, I am. I see you, Grim. You adorable little bean. Go have your zoomies. It's my daughter. Wait. If you set the fall-off distance to be equal to your radius, you won't hear any voices unless they are inside the range of the dome. On the other hand, if you increase the fall-off distance, and then you'll... Damn it, Grim, can you please stop walking in front of my computer? I'm trying to read here. Love you. I'm a good mom. Alright, back at it again. Movable main menu. This feature allows you to move around the main menu after opening the main menu, however, around beneath the menu to find the handle. Wow! I just fucking word vomited in something that didn't even grammatically make sense. Movable main menu. This feature allows you to move around the main menu. After opening the main menu, however, wow. Oh, hover! Not however. Christ! my glasses here clean? Hang on, let me just